We are live. Please go ahead.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. This is Advi, and my co-host Tanu is with me. We welcome you all to the La Debate, the debate competition of Invictus. This is sponsored by Stratalytics. This Teachers' Day, we let us have a healthy discussion on the theme of education. So brace yourselves as we begin the thrilling journey into an intense session full of speeches, rebuttals, and of course, loads of fun. Over to you, Tanu.
Uh, as the judge for today, we have with us Mr. Ankit Sharma, the senior business analyst and a petroleum engineer by profession. He has won many inter-college and inter-school level competitions. In co-curricular activities like quizzing. Sir, we extend our warm greetings to you. We would like to invite you to speak a few words. Looks like there's some issue. I guess we can call Sir later. Um, Either we will continue with the modalities of the debate.
Just rechecking. Hari, is it live streaming?
Yeah, he can come.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yes, Shalini, we are live. And
Okay.
Tanu, it seems like Ankit is not here in the meet yet, so I would just go move on. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, guys. Coming to the modalities of the debate will be conducted in two rounds. So the top six performers from the first round will be promoted to the next round. And the flow is this. So first speaker from team A presents his points for 1.5 minutes, and then there will be questions from one person from team B. There will be one question, which is exactly time for 30 seconds, and the response to it should exactly be not more than 45 seconds. Then we move to first speaker of the team B, who will be presenting his or her points for 1.5 minutes. That is the maximum time band. If you exceed, we will be muting the participants. Try to stick to the time. And probably we'll give you some buffer, but we'll mute if it exceeds that. And then the questions will be from team A to team B. And again, the question will have maximum of 30 seconds, and the response to that should maximum carry 45 seconds. And the same repeats for all participants. And at the end, both the teams can conclude their points, which we'll be giving 2 minutes to each team, and you can conclude your points, and the scoring will start then. Some of the rules that we can stick to, this is just for to maintain the decorum. Keep your videos on when you speak. Do not interrupt when other person is speaking. To just be polite, and rude or inappropriate behavior shall not be entertained. And decisions of the judges will be final, so there's no debating on that. And the scoring
Coming
pattern that will be
coming
explained
to
by Tanu.
the scoring, you will be judged on factors like content, delivery, time limit, fluency, how convincing your speech is, how well you answer the rebuttals, the quality of questions you ask as a rebuttal question, and the conclusion of your debate, of your points. So we can begin with the first round of debate now. I hand over the mic to Adavi.
So, Shalini, you can share your screen now, and Team A can start presenting the points now. So, your time starts now.
Yeah,
The
hi
first speaker
everyone.
from
Good morning to all. And first of all, happy Teachers Day to all. As know, we are today celebrating Teachers Day, and Dr. Radhakrishnan also has a huge respect to teachers, so he told that his birthday should be celebrated as a Teachers Day. And as we know, if you will ask if the technology can replace the teacher, the sorry, I will say no, because teachers are the leaders, guide, facilitators, and mentors. I'm sorry, although the technology can offer.
Sanjeev, sorry to interrupt you, but please put on your video.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
So as we know, the teachers are the leaders, guides, and facilitators and mentors. So although technology can offer many tools, but it cannot replace uh, as the teachers changes the life of their students. And also learning is mainly on the outside of the classes, because technology interaction is the key of the learning. And teachers, and also in that technology also teachers facing some challenges for technology integration. And also students have no respect when they are uh, in the uh, in the online session, because they miss classes. Also in earlier, the midday meal was okay. The midday meal is the one key that we cannot provide in the online session. And also there are some challenges. They are cheating in the appropriate, they are also inputting inappropriate behavior. So that's why I feel that uh, technology cannot replace that the on campus experience.
Okay, now does the uh, team B have any questions for Sanjeev? Please put on your mic and ask the question.
Sanjeev, I want to ask that what is the relation between on-campus studies and teachers? Actually, you mentioned the teachers, but we can't replace teachers. Of course, I agree with you, but we can change them according to the demand of time. For now, time is of technology, and also why we can't change the teachers in online mode or all like that.
Your time starts now for team. Sanjeev, you can go ahead and answer the question.
So I have to told, or that my any team members can told that, can answer that. Hello.
Yes, sorry.
Uh, uh, what was like I was telling that the online facility is provide okay, that in the online session the student they are doing some appropriate, they are also doing an appropriate means for cheating. They can if they are also, the statistics data told that 40% of the young students are doing classes and also scrolling the social media sites. And also in the on campus, that cannot be possible. There are the teachers who can watch, and he can watch the behavior, he can also guide him. So
Sanjeev,
that's why
your time is over. Thank you.
So I now call upon the first speaker from team B to put forth his points.
Yeah, am I audible to you people?
Yes, Lakshay, you are audible. You can start.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we live in an era of technology, and it's been a boon to us that we have got online education. The online education gives us a lot of opportunities. It provides us flexibility by which we can sit at any place of the country. We can sit at our home and can attend our classes without missing it. Next important point is it has eradicated the limitation of number of students. Earlier, a limited number of students could only study in a class, but today thousands of students can study together, which will further boost our literacy rate. The online education has made the education very affordable. Now everyone can afford to study quality education from quality teachers from the finest institutes of the world. It has given us the opportunity to interact with the industry experts. Now we can sit at our home and interact with the person sitting in California in the Silicon Valley. It has given an opportunity to learn with the self-paced. Everyone has a different pace. And with the help of online education, we can learn with our own pace. It has given a lot of opportunity to the working professionals as well. Now the working professionals can learn as well, work together. It has given the freedom of the
Lakshay,
multidisciplinary.
your time is up.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
So, Team A, do you guys have any questions for Lakshay?
Yes. So he said the technology today is becoming more affordable and affordable. But what do you thought like? What are your thoughts on the marginalized groups and low-income families? I mean, most of them don't even have devices right now. So how do you think will they join in the next upcoming movement?
The answer to this question to my dear friend is that if we compare the online education with the offline education, it is comparatively more affordable. Talking about the devices, nowadays the government under various schemes are distributing devices to the marginalized and the weaker section of the society. Talking about the other infrastructure facilities like Wi-Fi's and all that are also available in the government places at a free cost, and government is also providing free Wi-Fi and infrastructure facilities. I hope you are satisfied with it.
Thank you, Lakshay. So, member from the speaker two from team A can start presenting the points. Your time starts now. Please turn on your videos.
Uh, Hi. Okay. So I would like to continue the points of my fellow speaker, the first speaker from our team, Sanjeev's point. He mentioned that teachers hold a utter respect in our education system. I would like to further that as a return, as a small part of their return, they receive a salary. In return of all the hard work that they do for a student. So I would like to mention here that their salaries are being cut. Recently, a lot of teachers have received a pay cut, which is not a healthy system. Another point that I want to mention here is that the students have increased a lot of screen time, right from 5 year olds to 50 years olds have increased a lot of screen time, which is not good for the health. Uh, Another a last point that I would like to mention here is that of social isolation that everyone is facing right now. I have uh, I have a personal experience that I have stopped willing to meet my friends in this online system due to this online education system, and it is not healthy again, as one cannot stay in isolation forever. You need to start interacting, you need to interact with your environment, with the nature. Thank you.
Uh, that's it for okay. So, does Team B have any questions for Ananya?
I would like to
Yes,
ask question. Yeah. So, Lakshya, you go ahead.
okay. So I would like to ask the speaker that she told that it's been a physical isolation, but it's not a social isolation. She said that she's unable to interact. So it's not been a social interaction. It's not been a social isolation. You can interact with your fellow colleagues through online mediums, through online groups, and you can even plan a reunion or a get together in some time. So it's not that you are physically isolated. So what is your say on that?
uh, okay, is there anyone from team A who would like to answer, or should I go ahead?
Ananya, you have to defend your point. Yes.
I will. So to answer your question, Lakshya, is that I cannot learn a lot while sitting at home. I need to interact with my environment. One needs to interact with their environment, with the nature, with the people in real life to learn something new. I have been a student in the on campus as well, and the online learning does not help a lot in a lot of parameters, and getting into those would take up a lot of your time and my time. So to sum up, uh, I cannot learn a lot. Thank you.
Thanks, Ananya. So, someone from team, speaker three from team B can present their points.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mehul Bhatnagar, and I shall be speaking
Can
for the
you turn on
motion.
your video, Mehul?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks.
Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll be speaking for the motion that yes, edtech learning is the future. So the first point I would like to put is that as the previous speaker, she said that teachers are getting pay cuts and their salaries are getting deducted. But we have seen that there has been a rise in the salaries and the money which has been made by people who are giving these online lectures. So it is basically providing them a livelihood as well. Even if it is cutting down the salaries of some portion, it is providing a livelihood as well. The second point I would like to put is today we need a skill oriented workforce. And even though it was not much easier in colleges to get so oriented with skills and take particular courses for skills only. We had to study some subjects for necessary subjects as well. But now through online learning we only have to take those subjects. We can become more skill oriented, and the future is skill oriented. So I believe that online learning is going to make a huge difference in building a skill based workforce. The second point I think is lesser financial amount and lesser security concern for the parents, because the child is studying from the home, so they have no concern for safety and security, and they have no financial burden. So with this I'll conclude my points as my time is up. Thank you, and yeah, I'm on for questions.
Okay, so do we have any rebuttals for Meher?
Thanks, Mehul. Any questions from
Yeah, actually,
team B?
you meant skill oriented education, but do you think that a physical skill can be learned online, like say carpentry
Uh,
or robotics, for that matter?
I believe that to learn physical skills, you yourself have to make an effort, because I think that whenever as personally speaking from experience, I also wanted to learn skills. I joined a separate class for it, and I am giving time to it. So yeah, I think if you want to learn a physical skill like carpentry and like robotics, I think there are a lot of courses online which you can see. And for carpentry, if you want to learn, so I'm sure you can go and learn it physically by yourself if you have so much interest in it. So yeah, it's all depends upon the individual.
So you are telling that you will go in the own campus for learning all those which needs in
Sanjeev,
hand.
Sanjeev, uh, I'm sorry, but I think she has answered the question, and we can go ahead. You're not allowed to go cross question the answer that of the rebuttal question. Okay, so the next the next speaker from team. So Meher, you are from which team?
I'm from team B.
Okay, so the next speaker from team A, please start.
Yes, my name is Siddharth. I am from Team A, and 1 second. Yeah, I would like to talk about the midday meal scheme and the employment opportunities that schools give to the less advantageous communities, and which aren't really skill based, like sweepers, or for that matter drivers. There has been a loss of income for such communities, and the midday meal scheme has actually taken a blow. And in Indian government schools, mostly rural students come to the school just because they can not afford a meal, and the school provides them with it. And I guess there is no alternative to midday meals in the online mode, as it is a very offline driven thing. And we can't really just lose our uh, rural population for the development of the urban ones. Going with online rurals are mostly ignored, and their income levels do not let them comply and advance into the online computing space. Let's just yes. Questions are encouraged.
Team B, please ask your questions to the speaker.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question for speaker that for now he's saying that a lot of people get jobless, like sweepers and all he mentioned about meal scheme. But the scenario is like for how much time we have sweepers and all that people who are working for us for cleaning and all, but in future like after few time, like everyone is studying and everyone is moving ahead, then where we will get sweepers and all that people. So for that thing, is it necessary to continue in offline mode, like we will not have any type of peoples at that time? So how we will make a solution for that problems?
Yeah, actually, Aryan, to answer your question, it actually creates a loop if we do not, like sweepers and low wage people, like drivers and sweepers, are the people who employ their kids to schools, mostly government ones. And when they do not have funds, children drop out to become child laborers and etc., which is a bigger problem. Let's just say that. And when this happens, we create a loop. Again, those children become adults, sweepers, drivers, and it sort of creates a loop in which we are stuck. So yes, online education will be the education of the future. But for now, until we eradicate the problem of poverty, it will not be advantageous for us to continue in this way.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone now? Speaker six from Team B can start presenting the points.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes, Lavanya.
Actually, my camera is
Can
not
you switch on
working.
your video? Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah. Good morning. EdTech and e-learning are not just the need of the hour; they are here to stay. When COVID pushed 1.3 billion students around the world out of their classrooms and into their houses, EdTech is what came to the rescue. Today, it crosses the borders of countries. It crosses the barriers of social and economical status, even giving better connectivity between teachers and students through various means such as chat groups, etc. Not only this, it shifts the focus from age-old method of rote learning in traditional teaching. EdTech has made education fun and practical. Students are not bound to write tons of pages of theory and are taught practically through fun games and practical approaches. And it not only breaks the old shackles of rote learning but also increases retention. A great example for it is our IIT Madras BSc degree course, where we are learning practically and grasping the concepts of data science and programming in a much better way than its offline alternatives. Thank you.
Thanks, Lavanya. So, anyone from Team A, any questions for them?
Lavanya, can you please elaborate on how online education has improved the practical learning? Like, how can practicals be done online better than offline?
Yeah, sure. Like personally, if I give you my example, I am a BTech CSE student, and when we were taught offline, we were bound to write pages, and we were bound to fill registers and registers with practical notes, theory notes, with pen and paper. However, as we know that CSE is a more computer based subject. In online learning, we are bound to use computers. We are bound to actually practice coding instead of just writing stuff, which is, in my opinion, a very practical approach and a better approach to create skill based professionals rather than just rote learning robots.
Thank you, Lavanya. Now, seventh speaker from team, sixth speaker from team B can present the points.
Good morning. I am Tripti Arya. Here I would add some more points to my fellow team members. So, the point of cheating preventions during online assessment is complicated. So basically, it is because in on-campus class learning, there is no kind of cheating because if someone is cheating, then they are also punished for that. But in online learning, there is nothing like that. They punish them, but not to that extent, so that they can improve themselves. And also, I add a point of feedback. So in online learning and edutech, feedback is limited. Not more much people able to access the education. And I would also like to add a area issue. Like many of my friends have faced a problem during COVID. Because they live in hill areas and have connectivity issue, due to which they not able to access the online learning. And also, I would like to add some more points like insufficient teaching methods in edutech. So basically, teachers doesn't have much more methods to provide better knowledge of the topic whatever they would teaching to their students. So like in on campus, they can provide better knowledge by adding some more teaching methods. And there is also a distraction issue. People like students face so many distractions issue while edutech, because they have they have so many things in their online things, like, yeah. So that's my point. So if anyone have question, they can ask me.
I have a
Actually, I want
question.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tripti has said that cheating preventing two students from cheating is way easier in offline classes than in online classes. But don't you think it's a matter of personal integrity of the person? Like, if students want to study, they will study. And also, about the connectivity issue, there are many organizations like World Youth Council and eVidyaluka who are working towards better connectivity. So why do you think that these are issues?
so basically, because we don't say always online platforms are provide better connectivity, because sometimes the servers are down. Like if someone have exam and the servers are down, they don't able to give exams. So it is like that. And you said about cheating. So basically, the cheating preventions in offline classes are are not that much complicated as with online classes. So yeah, that's my point.
Okay, thanks, Tuti. Speaker 7 from team A can present the points.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Actually, the thing is that few of my friends said that if we stop on-campus studies, then we get de-socialized and all that. But my friends, I want to say that even we get more socialized if we get online studies. Like our teachers also have their families, also have their relatives. They also need health and happiness. So in offline education system, we are on the way to that teachers and all the peoples have to come daily time on time and go on time. if they have any work, they have to register that work and work for their company or wherever they are teaching. But in online mode, they can take time for other works also. They can get more socialized and have even students have also more time. So as they have no to travel somewhere, they have no to do something. So they can explore new things. They can go to new scenarios, new connect with new peoples. And the more thing is that population of our country is like 1.3 billion, and it's not possible to provide a education, a cost-effective education to every child in campus. But in online mode, we can do such things like we are also getting the degree from IIT. It's really cost-effective, and all that things seems to be like we need a system where we can take educations from our own base and our own home. That's all for me.
Thanks, Aryan. Any questions from Team V to Arya?
My friend told that the teachers need the time to relax. So I told that in on campus also teachers can take leave. They can take classes from his home. Like if the teachers need that in the on campus you have all the facility. In the campus you have the lab facility, you have the internet facility. Here a student can also learn from online. So it's not the excuse that teachers cannot take. If teachers can take leave like 2, 3, 4 days and they can take classes online also. But in the practical knowledge, they have to be in the campus, and the teachers and the student instruction is very needed for any student and
See, I can't support the online education fully
to
online
upgrade his
education.
life. And the impact of teacher in online is not as good as. No, I'm telling that no, you can take.
Are you done with the
Like
question?
teachers.
Actually, Sanjeev, your voice is lagging, and I am unable to get the last of your points.
No, I was telling that teachers.
Shalini, you can stop the timer because I think he's not starting answering. You can restart the timer. Yes, Sanjeev. Finish your question, and then we will go to the timer.
I told that in the on-campus also teachers can take leave and they can provide education online because in the on-campus all the students have the facility of internet and Wi-Fi and the lab setting, and the impact of online education is not much bigger than the offline campus because the interaction between a student and the teacher gives the very powerful impact for upgrading any students students behavior, and they can learn a lot in the on campus. So there is no issue of time that teachers cannot relax and teachers cannot take leave. So I support that in on campus it's much better than online, that is fully technology based.
Okay, question is done. Can Aryan start his answer?
Look, Sanjeev, we can't deny the benefits of online education. Like as we are studying in IIT, and a lot of peoples are get skilled in data science. And if such course is in offline mode, we can't say more than 200 or 300 peoples will be in that course. But you say that we can provide all the facilities to teachers as well as the students in campus, but the thing is that how they can get more time for their families, how they can get more time for their social life, like if they want to do something apart from that education also. Look, everyone have their dreams and everyone wants to do something apart from their work. So how can the teachers can do that? So I don't think that it's will be foolish to be in a all completely in offline mode. But if we add some part, like nowadays we are going to several parts of international colleges to be in online mode, and we can do. Okay, that's all for me.
Thanks, Aryan. So the seventh speaker from Team B can start presenting the points.
Yeah, I am the speaker from Team A. Yes, it's in me turns.
Can I start?
Yes.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. Today I'll be speaking for the motion. So the first question I would like to ask you people is, what do you think is the most important component of online learning? Be it, like even if it uses technology. Obviously, the quality of education would depend on the quality of the teacher. That's one thing we should all, agree on. Second thing is, like I believe that social education is the most important way in which information can be completely conveyed to all the students, and social interaction as well as class participation is more lively when it is done in offline mode compared to online modes. In online modes, you can have people coming in. I mean, you will have a lot of members joining in, but not a lot of people participate. Some people only, just switch on the meeting and they just stay in the background. So there's not really a lot of class participation going on there, and like discussion and collaboration between students can always create a positive and interpersonal learning climate. Furthermore, I would like to add on the social economic consequences of this. My partner said obviously there's a lot of cons to this for marginalized communities and low income families. I mean, we'll also have to understand how many micro industries have been affected through this. Yes, that would be it, and questions are welcome.
Just a second, Lavanya. I think Ankit sir, our judge, has had something to say. Sir, please.
Yeah, you can call me Ankit. Okay, no worries. We are all students in the same degree program. Question to you, Stephen. Like, how do you define the quality of teacher? Like, that is one, and because that is a very subjective choice, right? And then the next one, like you said, is marginalized communities get, like, they do not get benefit out of this because it needs a lot of devices and some kind of investment. So that is already being done. I mean, in the offline mode, it was done by daily, like these daily meals and all. So similar things could be popped up. So what is your rationale behind it? That's it.
Okay, so for the technology, I would be talking about how government might have planned to, create environments for online learnings in government schools. But he said even under the check, a recent OECD report stated that a lot of government, institutions have actually planned for, free Wi-Fi or maybe devices which would be given out to students. But is it actually done? And there's almost nobody who's going to check that. Furthermore, for the social interaction thing, obviously one could make an argument that it's more, it's more in favor of the offline mode. So
No,
yeah.
my question was, like you said, the quality of teachers, right? So,
Yeah.
who defines the quality of teacher, the student or the management who provide them salary? Next question is like, just on your rebuttal is, uh, okay, you can answer these two. I mean, in the interest of time.
Okay, the quality of teacher might be subjective, obviously, but my point is, it's even if we have online technologies, teacher is always going to be at the center of the level of education. We cannot change that. There's a lot of alternatives between online technologies, but there's very few between teachers. And since it's subjective, what I mean is how students feel about the teacher, and a lot of people can agree on it. Like finally, if that answers your question.
Sure, sure. Thanks.
Yes. Thanks, Ankit. So, to close, I think we have the conclusions left and one rebuttal from Team B if they are willing to. So they can ask the question.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yes, yes, Lavanya.
Yeah. So, Stephen, you mentioned about class engagement being low in online classes. So, are you aware of students sleeping in offline classes and not attending offline classes at all and completely missing what was being taught? Even a movie like Three Idiots highlighted this fact that even in premier institutes like IIT, class engagement is depends upon students itself. So, a person who can miss online class can also miss offline class equally easily. So how can you blame online classes for that?
Yes, I completely get your point. But to answer that, I would say online mode of education always, it kind of encourages this kind of activity. You might have people who sleep in both the classes, that's there. But in online mode of education, more people tend to go towards, the lazy mode where they don't listen to classes and they think of completing everything in the 11th hour. In offline mode, even if you do that, there's less number of people doing that. And that's for a fact. And obviously you are under teacher's guidance. So now again, you'll obviously get told to, like go back and like start paying attention to classes. So the concentration of that is much more, like significantly more in online mode of education. I have answered the question. So
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. So the next speaker from Team B can start presenting the points.
Guys, is there anyone left from Team B?
Hi.
Yes, sir, Jada, continue.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Uh, so, as Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. Removing barriers in education and making it available for anyone of any background in any stage of life should be our main concern. And online education provides the perfect opportunity to reach out to millions of people at the click of a mouse. Online education has provided us with ease of upgrading our skills even while working a full-time job, as this particular program that we are all enrolled in proves. Online education also prevents possibilities such as students facing bullying and racism in classroom teaching. I can say that it's easier to provide a digital learning platform than to set up an education institute at a place. We just need a computer and some devices, and at the click of a mouse, we can provide education access of education to millions of children from marginalized background. It also has been proven during research that visual learning retention in case of online education has increased 25 to 60%, as visual learning aids children to learn better. Online learning also helps. Makes it easier for learning, as it takes 40 to 60% lesser time than offline learning, and it also provides better work-life balance for teachers. Thank you.
Any questions from Team A?
Yeah, my friend told that for the working people, working professionals, online medium is good. So I agree if they are in the working profession, there is an option of doing part time degree in any colleges, and they are also giving a much like interacting way to take learn from their city. There are many colleges they are providing, also IITs. Many IITs are providing part time, and in the online mode you can learn only a few subjects like machine learning subject, artificial intelligence. In there they are only based on the online, where the lab can be done online. But there are other subjects that are based on the mechanical civil, they can't be done. So there must be a needed for a part-time in their college, so they can experience the practical knowledge. That's it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like certain things can't be done online, where you need the practical knowledge. However, for other subjects where everything can be done online and through virtual reality, it can be done online. I think it's more viable to do it online than doing it offline.
Okay, can I ask a question if time permits?
Yes, sure, sir. Go ahead.
All right, all right. So, can you elaborate a bit more? I mean, why do you think that the like the work-life balance is better in the online mode when compared to the offline mode? I mean, what is the rationale behind it?
First of all, I would like to say that the commuting time is decreased because we don't have to commute. People don't have to commute for hours and spend time on that. Also, you're more closer to your family. So when you're working from home, you're always closer to your family. You can give them more time, and that is why I think it's better work-life balance when it comes to working from online.
And you mean specifically for teacher side or like just in general?
Yeah, it's also for teachers and also for everyone.
Understood.
Thank you, sir. So we call upon Team A to present the next points.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. The speaker one of the team B said it's the era of technology. It's a boom. But do you have you thought about the technology addiction? Nearly 50% of the youth are addicted to our mobile phones. Therefore, it cannot be used to do anything productive. The number he said the number of students could be increased while in the online education, but think about the attention per person given to them. Also told about this online education being affordable, but we all know how costly the mobile phone devices are. The speaker too said it will increase the livelihood, but we all know after Corona, when things got online, nearly 23% of the youth are were unemployed in 2020. The speaker said said it's better connectivity. We can chat and things, but nothing can compensate physical education. The speaker for himself said that we cannot fully support online education, but also we cannot learn self-discipline on through online education. And he said that we can connect to new people, but have you thought about the point that we are losing to the people present near us? We are not able to interact in a better manner with the people near us, and we are thinking for. So here I conclude my speech. My time, sir.
Thanks, Ratna. Any questions to Ratna?
Yes, I have a question. She said that there are addictions in the online mode, or the people are addicted to the technology. So it's upon you how judiciously you make the use of the resources which are given to you. There have been addiction in the offline mode as well. There have been addictions like drugs, alcoholic consumptions, and many other consumptions in the offline medium as well. So you can't blame technology that it is addictive. It makes youth addictive to it. It is upon the youth how judicially it make use of that technology. Is it he using it for becoming developing his skills, or he is getting addicted to it? It is completely upon the youth. It's not that online is promoting that. It is there in offline as well.
Can I answer? Um,
Yes, Ratna, please go
technology
ahead.
technology addiction cannot be compared with the drug
Just a
addiction.
second, Ratna. I think you've not been timed. So, Shalini, can you restart the timer?
Aditi? Yeah.
Okay, Ratna, please go ahead.
Yes, technology addiction cannot be compared with drug addiction. Technology, the big technology companies like Facebook, Google, or Microsoft have huge AI models, which, which if psychologically manipulate people, and they are no more they are making their apps even more and more addictive. um, you can refer to the Social Dilemma movie, where even the previous employees told how they are making their apps more addicting. So it's not the fault of people, but it's the huge technology giants which are making their apps more addictive.
Thanks, Ratna. Speaker from team, we can start presenting the points.
Good morning to one. Sorry.
Okay, we have it on the speaker.
Yeah. Okay. So good morning to one and all. Respected members of the opposition, the agreement, the judges, and the host. As it is rightly said, that technology evolves from elements within itself. Whenever a technological revolution takes prominence over the one it is going to replace, there are some problems that are bound to happen. But that does not mean that that piece of technology should be discarded or should be kept away just because it is not able to solve some of the basic problems that many people or many masses or many millions of people face. Let me give you an example. We have a huge problem, a huge demand of quality education in India. Many students across all fields, engineering, medicine, management, whatever it be, cannot find seats in some of the most prestigious colleges in India because we have very limited seats. I believe EdTech has the capability or has the ability to provide quality educations to such of many people, so to thousands and millions of students who want such education. EdTech has the capability to reach to masses in the very remote places of India where education, where people living in such villages, in such cities haven't seen anything about it. They don't know, they're completely illiterate. They don't know anything about education. EdTech has the capability to reach out to some of those very vulnerable people. I would like to conclude my speech by saying that this is the age of the fourth industrial revolution. This is Industry 4.0. And whenever we talk about such problems, I feel that it is much more related to policy driven matters rather than technology being not able to cater to the needs of the people. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Avais. Any questions for Avais?
Okay, I have one question. So you said ki, everything is dependent on policy dependent actions taken by the government. So honestly speaking, if we look at the current times, a change in technology is what is actually needed right now. And if government implements plans and they are very slow to take action or being implemented, so what do you say about that? We can gradually see an increasing gap between the urban class communities and low income families when you look at education. The government promises to provide all the resources and everything, but nothing is kept in check. So that actually affects technological innovation in education and its usage. So what are your thoughts on that?
You see, Steven, whenever I say it is a policy driven matter, so see, I'll give a very good example. Whenever 60 years back, we never knew that fiat currency would completely replace gold coins. Or not 60 years back, 100 years back. But right now we know that fiat currency is the or paper currency is the medium of exchange. That time the people might have thought, out, okay, fine, how can we distribute this? Like, how can we address some of the major problems or the basic challenges that this currency should provide? That is the medium of exchange. So what I'm trying to say is that okay, it is a policy driven matter. The technology has nothing to do with it because many millions of people don't have laptops and quality internet connectivity. It is a policy driven matter, and the government is taking steps for that. The government, if the people really want to actually realize the power and potential of edtech, it is up to the people now. That they should step up and come up and make sure that people have this access to this technology. Thank you.
Thanks, Avais. So we've come to the conclusion of the event. So, both Team A and Team B can conclude their points. Let's start with Team A. So, over to you.
Right. Ananya, this side, I'm going to conclude for Team A. I would start with a quote by the English poet John Keats. Uh, the quote reads, "Nothing ever becomes real till it is experienced." In continuation of that, from the days of Gurukuls in India till today's modern world where technology is being used for education, on campus learning, I believe, is an important aspect in framing the in developing the personality of a learner. To further my point, I would like to say that even though edtech is becoming more advanced these days and more famous, more popular these days, it does have its advantages, but it comes with some disadvantages again. To support the disadvantages, I would mention some points my team and me have already mentioned in our speeches. The first point that I would mention here is the increase in the screen time of every learner and every teacher, every educator, in fact. So that is not healthy again. The second point that I would like to mention here, another strong point, another point of essence actually, is that some teachers and some students even, they don't have very good access to the internet and the technology. Uh, so the basic technology necessary for it. So those are the two strong points that I still stand by. And once again, a happy Teachers' Day. Thank you. I conclude on that.
Thanks, Aninya. Happy Teachers' Day to everyone again. So, Team B can start concluding their points.
Well, to conclude today's fruitful discussion on this topic, that will EdTech be the future or not, I would like to begin with a quote by Agnes Republic. It says, "It is impossible to withhold education from the receptive mind, as it is impossible to force it upon the unreasoning." This quote itself dispels all these points that students are going to be cheating or students are going to be bunking classes. It all depends upon the person's integrity and the will to learn. Secondly, I would like to add that the change is inevitable in the education industry. The pandemic itself has forced us to come to go online from offline, and I believe the rise of these edtech giants is going to is going to make children the product which they offer and the medium of content which they offer, it is all going to make a huge difference in children's lives, and inevitably edtech is going to be the future. So yeah, addressing the point which my previous speaker in the end, she said that we have to have better that we have pardon me, uh, addressing the point which my previous contestant said, that we have teachers who are we have to take care of teachers and we have to take care of other people who are related to this industry. So I believe that there will be a rise in livelihood, and there with this increase of edtech and edtech, and inevitably we will all go to edtech, and we can see this in ourselves at present as well, because we all are learning from IIT Madras, an online degree, and we have taken the help of edtech and to inevitably skill ourselves up. So yeah, this with this I would like to conclude.
Thank you for the conclusion. I think with this, we come to the end of round one. Uh, we are going to select six top performers for the round two, and we'll declare the results of that shortly. In the meanwhile, we can have the floor open for question and answers from the audience. So, if the audience has anything to ask the participants, or the thing is, anyone can ask a question to anyone, so it's going to be like a discussion. So we can start with that now, by the time the results are being computed. So would you guys like to have a casual discussion on the topic? Please raise your hands, whoever would like to speak. Yeah, Hari, please go ahead.
Nothing in
Hari?
specific, Tanu. I was just really fascinated about the topic, right? The topic says, will EdTech replace on-campus learning experience in the future, right? And I was just wondering if anybody thought about the question, right? Why are we saying, will EdTech replace on-campus learning? Isn't the question supposed to be, will EdTech revolutionize, or is EdTech the new medium for learning, right? Isn't that the right question? By asking this question, aren't we saying our on-campus learning is already perfect, and we should try to replicate on-campus learning in some form? Yes, guys.
That's a
Yeah,
nice perspective. Always, there's a queue,
yeah,
so
like I
you can.
actually, sorry for the interruption. Sorry for that. Actually, I was just going to add something to Hari's point. Like what he said is absolutely correct. Like I completely agree with him. And it is said that online education will kind of aid on-campus education in many ways actually. Because see, like as I've mentioned in my speech before, we cannot provide quality on-campus education to everyone because we have lots of people living in India at very remote places in India. Of course, they cannot travel such long distances due to other constraints and conditions placed before them. So that's where online education kind of takes the upper hand, like gets the upper hand. Like what we are doing right now, the IIT Madras online degree is providing quality online education, which is from an IIT, which is one of the most reputed, the best engineering college in India, to people living in very remote places in India. Like I don't know about all the people who are in this course, but I still like I believe like there are some people who are actually in very remote places in India and they are getting this quality education. So that's actually revolutionizing education, the education sector in a way. That's what I believe actually.
Okay, nice
Uh,
perspective, Hari and Oves.
no, I'm just since I started that thread of thought, I'm just trying to correct myself. I'm not saying that they can coexist or something. That is a great perspective too. But what I'm asking is, when you say, will it ever replace physical education, right? We are trying to say that physical education is perfect, but we simply can't carry it out in the scale to educate everybody in the planet. Right. It's like we have way too many people. Physical education is way too expensive. We'll never be able to carry it out. And for that reason, we need a savior. And is online learning that savior? I think that seems to be the perspective that we are looking at this entire thing, right? But we need to acknowledge that even university graduates are going jobless, right? There are people who walk into universities who get a proper 4 years of learning with hands-on experience, and still they get unemployed or still they're not successful in life. So when we try to compare online learning to offline learning, are we doing it justice? Are we bringing up the right points for developing a new education system for the future? Right. I just thought that that's something we need to think about, because it's not like online learning is coming with a lot of disadvantages and we are fixing them. These issues have existed even in offline learning. And is online learning in any way uniquely positioned to solve these issues? Is something we should think about, guys. So, yeah.
So I think Shrijita had something to say. Okay, she is no longer raising her hand. Uh, yes, Siddharth, go ahead.
Yes, actually, to answer Hari's question, yes, you are correct that online learning will at some point of time replace offline learning, but not to an extent where offline learning will be obsolete. Offline learning will always be a thing, and I guess there is a beauty in offline learning that cannot be attained in online mode.
Exactly, Siddharth. My question is, you speak about this beauty of offline learning, but it's not perfect. You look at the data, it's not perfect, right? So why are we biasing against online learning on day one, right? I hope that makes sense. And Ankit, you guys have your hands raised up. My bad. Sorry. Please go ahead, guys.
No worries, Hari. Yeah, all I'm just saying is like for offline, you have got data for like last 60, 70 years, or I mean forever. Whereas for online learning, you don't have any data. These are just plain assumptions because we are just like on day zero per se. Like we don't have any assumptions. We are just learning how to deal with it. We are just making systems hit and trials, how they work, how they do not. So I see a hybrid kind of a system where even I mean it will reach rural like how Geo has reached everywhere. So I mean once the time has come, nobody can stop it. Neither yeah, poverty is a blocking like is a big blocker for a few people, but still I mean crowdfunding and these kind of things, mutual learning where you can have an online class in the remotest part of a village because there is internet available. So these I mean I do hope that these hybrid kind of things come up. Yeah, just that.
True, very true, Ankit. Next in line is Lavanya. Lavanya, please go ahead.
Yeah, I completely agree with Hari and Ankit sir, because change is inevitable and change will come, and every time there is a drastic change, there is a debate regarding it. Like when e-books came, everyone was like they will replace hard copy books, they will replace people will be addicted to their phones, and there's no future for publishing companies, people will be out of employment, publishers will go out of employment. But now whenever there is a change, these uncertainties have to come, but change cannot be avoided. And even when we think about affordability and remote areas, there still, even today, there are so many alternatives. There are so many organizations within 2 months they have taught like 1500, 1600, even thousands and 10 thousands of people across like the remotest of areas in northeast, in Ladakh, in Jammu Kashmir. If we go online and we see that change is happening, and even in the remotest of areas people are studying through online education, and it is benefiting them. Although we cannot ignore the fact that each and every student is extremely missing their offline classes and the environment we used to get in it, but edtech does play a pivotal role in, and we all are facing it, we all are experiencing it.
Yes, you are absolutely right, Lavanya. Uh, I think Stephen can continue. Stephen, please go ahead.
Yeah, so adding on to everybody's points, I would like to say that no form of education is actually perfect. I mean, it is, you can't really achieve that kind of perfection because everybody is different. And to, meet the needs of every person, like the technology we need is non existent now. We would be like to made to wait for, I guess, around 50 to 60 years or even less, probably 30 to 40 years. Like, that's my guess for, for technology and other socioeconomic factors to cross the barricades so that they can reach to every person. But speaking that, we also have to keep all other factors in mind when we, put the final equation. Right now, there are a lot of, I mean, there are a lot of barricades to online education, socioeconomic factors, and everything else. And the government has to actually, keep that in mind to take actions right now. That's why even if the corona pandemic is going away, we are shifting back to offline education. It's not that online education has proved itself within 1 year and we would be like continuing with it. So obviously we have to wait for a lot of time to actually implement online, like a universal online education. So for that time, at least for that period, it's better if we stick to offline education, because even if it's not perfect, it has kind of proved itself, and we can't say that online education is more efficient. I mean, in the way of like the amount of information might be a lot, but people tend to deviate towards like other distractive elements easily in online education. So we have to keep all these factors in mind when we say the online education might be better, because we got to wait for online education to prove itself first.
Yes, Stephen, online education does have a long way to go till we can compare it with offline learning. I think Siddharth has something to say. Siddharth,
Yes,
please go
actually,
ahead.
one question to everybody, no matter what their teams or judges. How many of you can agree that the pandemic just sped up things on the online learning basis? It was going to happen, it was inevitable, but online pandemic just blew it out of the park.
I mean, I
Yeah,
will disagree
absolutely
to
right.
it. I will disagree to it. The the kind of boom which we've seen in online education was just like a reaction to what happened due to COVID lockdown and all. Had COVID not been there, things would have sped up, but really slowly. I mean, no one wants to, go like people made large investments in terms of lands and also. If you see it from a business sense, it doesn't make sense for them to go the online way.
Um, Hari, please put forward
Yeah, so
what you have
actually,
to say.
it feels like we're still taking sides. I was just trying to shift to a different approach to the entire conversation, right? Yeah, it's just like we are trying to say online versus offline. But what I'm saying is, in your minds, you have visualized that offline is perfect and it works, right? And businesses, let's the truth is that education is a business, especially in 2021, right? They want to give customers what they like or what they would like. They don't care about what's best for the customers. They give customers what they think is what they'll pay for. Correct. And when we look at this entire system, when we say I'm considering online learning, but to sell me on this idea, you need to be as close as possible to an offline experience. Are we handicapping the true potential of this technology? Right? By having this innate bias that only offline systems would work, and online is simply a replacement for offline learning, and it should resemble offline learning. Are we handicapping this technology, right? Can we think of better ways? Can we think of completely radical ways in which offline learning and online learning are completely unrelated? Can we approach the system in a completely different way? And are we not doing that on purpose because people might not adopt it? Is the question I'm bringing forward. Yeah.
Lavanya, okay, she put her hand down. Lakshay, do you have something to say to Hari's question,
Yeah,
or do you have your own
yeah, I have one
points
point to
to?
put forward. That is, why are we arguing online versus offline? Why can't we intermingle the both of these online and the offline mode of learning? The theoretical part could be covered in the online mode, and wherever the practical implementation need to be done, we can call the students in groups to the campus so that they can practically implement and make the uses of labs and all the other infrastructure facilities which are available in the campus, which are not available in the online resources. But for the streams like computer science, there is not of much of practical learning, so that could be continued in the online mode, and some offline gatherings could be arranged so that they could be socially interactive with their fellow mates as well. But for the field like mechanical, there needs to be bit of practical implementation as well. So the theoretical part could be covered online and the practical part could be covered in groups in offline mode. So intermingling and hybrid system of both online and offline would be a boon, or it would be eradicate most of the problems which have online medium also have an offline medium also.
I mean, in that sense, just sorry, I couldn't keep myself jumping in. You should actually ask your seniors. Like, I'm not sure like whether you're a student or already working or someone. How many of us have actually worked on lathe machines and all after first year, and even remember doing them? So the thing is, even the education system is it is a dinosaur in itself.
Exactly,
uh,
Ankit. I was just trying to say that all of our courses is almost like 1,000 years old, and it has little to no relevance at this point of time. So
Yeah,
like
people
I
still get into IITs learning Newton's laws of motion, where like things have gone to Heisenberg uncertainty principle and all that. We don't get to study all that very certainly. So yeah, it needs to change. Needs to change a lot. Yep.
Yeah, so I had one thing to say. Basically, online and offline doesn't really decide the curriculum, right? Whatever we learn is like completely dependent on what teachers and other educational institutions decide on what we have to study. So I don't think online and offline education, to some extent, I'm not saying completely, to some extent, it doesn't really have much to do with the curriculum. And I'm just adding on to that, like it's not a rebuttal of some sort. I just want to say we really don't know what the socioeconomic environment would be 80 years or 100 years from now. Maybe by then, like universal online education would be very common, and offline education might even become more exclusive. Like rich kids and their parents might pay more to have offline quality education or something like that. So we have to think about all these factors when we implement policies now. And yeah, just about that. Yeah.
Okay, guys, don't lower your hands. We will continue this discussion after a short pause. But now it's time for the results. So I think our judge, Ankit, can now announce the results and also the topic for the second round. Ankit, please continue. Ankit, are you there?
I just realized I was mute. I'm really sorry. Yeah, first I'll announce the six participants who will go to the second round. And it was really a great debate, guys. I mean, everyone, had really great points. I mean, totally different point of views we got to see. But just on the basis of how scoring has been done, we've just sorted it based on that. It's just that, one or two point here and there just made the cut. So, like, really sorry who are not progressing, but we are really thankful that they at least participated, and full marks on that. I mean, everyone is a winner here. So just to let you, okay, the first one, I'll call out the names, six names basically. Meher, Ananya, Siddharth, Oves, Shrijita, and Steven. So these guys will be debating each other again on in the next round. And should I say the topic now, Tanu, or?
Yeah, you can say the topic now.
Okay, okay. So the topic for the next round will be how essential is college education.
Okay, guys, so the next round will be of a discussion form. After the timer starts, you guys can just directly start discussing, and we'll give you 10 minutes now to prepare for the next round. And in 10 minutes, by 12:15, we'll resume the next round. So yeah, all the six people who are selected for round two can discuss and sort of prepare their points for the
Sorry to
next round.
speak. Can you repeat the topic?
Yes, the topic is how essential is college education. Okay, so now we will continue with the earlier discussion. Aryan, you have something to say. Aryan,
Yes.
are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Look, when we talk with unbiased thinking, apart from debating, we can conclude like both the systems as well as on campus and online both have their own benefits. Uh, like a survey in TCS workers recently done found that employees from their home working from their home are 5% more efficient than the employees who are going to office. So such things shows that like offline or say job from home or study from home will the future of the technology and all that. But somehow in some fields we can't do online things like a driver have to go on job. He can't drive a bus from home, and all some things are there. So both have their own benefits. So we can't deny that one is like totally wrong or one is totally right. It's okay.
Okay, I think next in queue is Lavanya. Do you have something to add to what Aryan said, or do you have your own points?
Yeah, I had a
Lavanya?
few points, but yeah, am I
Yeah,
audible?
please go ahead. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So I had a few points regarding what Hari said. Like, offline is not perfect, and that's a fact. But then nothing is perfect. But according to me, what Hari was trying to say is we take online as a mutually exclusive mode with regards to offline. Like we don't intermingle online with offline. But we live in a society where we need social interaction, and we uh, like we take our example, then in first semester in our IIT Madras degree we were just learning by ourselves, and now that we are interacting with each other, and this is also in a form and replica of offline mode, an intermingling of online and offline mode. So hence we are, we have to intermingle online and offline, and these two cannot be mutually exclusive because that's just how we are comfortable with. And also someone said that it will take 40 to 50 years till availability of online mode will reach to remote areas. But I think we are hugely underestimating online mode, because we have seen in case of Geo, in within 1 to 2 years the growth of online or mobile phones and technology has increased exponentially. So I disagree with the fact that it will take 40 to 50 years till online mode is accessible to all. Even today, organizations like World Youth Council or Teach for India or eVidyaloka are providing quality online education to the underprivileged and students who are in remote areas.
Uh, yes, I agree with that. With your points, Lavanya. Next in queue is Shrijata. Shrijata, please continue. And Aryan, I think you can put your hand down.
It's no pressure, right? I mean, if you want time for preparing, it's okay.
Yeah, okay. So I think Hari also had something to say, so we can go to Hari.
Yeah,
Hari,
I'm just trying to engage the conversation. So, have you guys, is there any chess player over here? Have you guys heard about Alpha Zero? Right. Uh, so everybody knows that we have computers that play chess, right? I'm not chess player, but I learned about it recently. We have computers that play chess, and they don't follow any sort of algorithm. What they do is they learn from other chess players. So you take a computer and you make it play against a human, and then it starts to learn how the human wins the games and starts playing better than the human. So that's how we approached, computer chess till 2017. And it had a lot of success. We beat a lot of world champions with that algorithm. But in 2017, we had something new. We had something called Alpha Zero. So instead of taking computers and making them fight against humans, we taught them nothing. They did not see a single human game, and they played against each other. right? It is computer against computer. They do not know the rules of chess. They do not know the popular moves in chess, and they found unconventional ways to approach the system. Right? When people looked at the games AlphaZero played, people had no idea what was happening because every single move was undocumented before. Right? And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Are we going for a pre 2017 chess model by getting inspired of online education? Are we missing out avenues of creating the next AlphaZero for education? Is my question, right? I hope that made sense. Anyway, if anybody wants to talk, you can go ahead, I guess. Yeah.
I think the analogy between a computer and a human is sort of bizarre because if computers, they work on algorithms. Humans require, like, they have emotions, they have many other attributes other than just being robotic. So I don't think we can compare that. But yeah, I do agree with the unconventional approach, and online in itself provides an unconventional approach.
No, but when you approach an online education system, right, you say, I want a teacher, I want XYZ. You need to have a whiteboard. You need to have a doubt clearing session. You need to have a textbook. You need to have this. You need to have that. Every single point, your any business that offers you an online education service, right? The consumer is placing checkpoints. The consumer is saying, this is the bare minimum I need from you, and you might have a better thing lined up for me, but I am not willing to be the consumer, right? If somebody came up with a completely new system, they said you don't have textbooks, you have something else, you don't have teachers, or you have some other system, would people be open to it at this point? So, are we at the right point to even judge online education? Because at this point, they just want people to try it out, and they're trying to make it as similar as possible to offline learning, right? So would things change in the future when it's more accessible? Because it's all the question was will, right? Will edtech be the future? Correct. And when we say will, we need to accept a few things, right? The cost of data is going down, the cost of internet is going down, the computers are getting cheaper every year. So it's inevitable that it is definitely the most viable approach, right? Economically, online learning is always going to be cheaper than offline learning. So it's inevitable. The question is, will it take a different avatar, and will that avatar be enough to completely engulf a large part of offline education? That offline education becomes a niche, right?
Yeah, I agree that we are being rigid to some extent. That we are being rigid towards an offline environment and an online setup. But we cannot ignore that there have to be checkpoints. There have to be necessities. It is an age-old saying that necessity is the mother of invention. So whenever there is a necessity, when there is a necessity of a doubt session, then only we come up with an unconventional way to provide an online way of doubt clearing, which is like available to everyone. That is the beauty of online education, right? That we don't have to travel, we don't have to commute to any place, but we can still clear our doubts. That we had a necessity, that is why we created an invention, right? Or we found a
No,
way.
we have like how many billion people on this planet, right? And we are thinking about the progress of the entire human race. We want to create and develop systems that is going to benefit every single human being in the planet. Correct? Would you agree with that, Lavanya? And we have more drive than ever to conduct social experiments on people. And I'm just expressing my disappointment, right? That people aren't trying. You have 7 billion people, and I'm sure at least a few thousand or a few hundred thousand are more than willing enough to try a different avenue of education and see how effective it is, right? But looking at all the online offerings, I don't see anything being so radical because it doesn't hurt to experiment, and there are so many companies out there, there are so many governments out there who can afford to experiment, right? And they are taking the approach that you are describing. They're saying if something doesn't break, why fix it? But the reality is they have a lot of money in hand, and this is probably the most receptive time to conduct an experiment, or see if they can take a completely new approach to things. So I've never been the advocate of online versus offline. I really just wanted to have a discussion and I'm just floating my thoughts. When I saw this topic, that is what was going on in my mind, and I'm just sharing that. Nothing more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a discussion, and I find it very interesting too. But I am not grasping by what you mean by experimenting. Like, aren't we already experimenting? Like, isn't like the
We are
IIT Madras
experimenting
saying
on
that we are
reach, right?
currently
I see
enrolled?
people experimenting. They say that let's try, reaching people in remote areas. Let's do this. Let's do that. But people in the end, they still want to grab a professor, make him sit in front of the screen, and have him explain the topic, right? And there are some people on YouTube who have tried, you guys must have seen the three blue one brown, three brown or three blue. I'm not sure which comes first, but anyway, you must have seen his playlist, right? He took a completely different approach to education, and this is one person, if you think about it, or maybe he has a studio behind him, and he is conducting an experiment to see how effective his teaching method is. So I'm just thinking, the people definitely have ideas out there. Why aren't they coming to fruition when we are in an internet age where it's cheaper than ever to conduct an experiment online, right? Because I can go out there, I can set up an online education solution as long as I'm motivated enough for free, pretty much, because of the Amazon credits I get. I'll be able to roll it out to 100 people. And then we have these super mega corporations with almost infinite wealth. So the question is, why aren't they taking the initiative? Why are they simply trying to please the consumer? Should we be more open-minded? If we are more open-minded, would we benefit more as a society, right?
No, but Hari,
Being open-minded is always beneficial.
no, but that works both ways, right? I mean, if you still have people, who are in the teaching position who are going to give you marks, who are still from an older generation. So it is basically a generic shift, right? I mean, a generational shift. You have, because you're at the other side of the table, your cards will be dealt in one way or the other. So once this generation who has seen this boom, this moves on to their professional life and they come into teaching, and then they devise it like the YouTube channel you were mentioning, right? Once that starts to happen, students will inculcate that. Right now, students inculcate what they've been taught since kindergarten, which is basically like I mean, there are a lot of stuff in that we can talk about. Like the debate will go elsewhere, but it. I mean, you can only clap with two hands. That is what I mean in a nutshell.
I understand. I understand. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just saying, it's just disappointing because I keep scrolling the news all the time. When especially during the pandemic, I thought, there'll be something great with EduTech coming on. But it's all about, I already have pre-recorded sessions. How do I get it out to people over there? Right? How do I make sure that it reaches some village in Africa? How do I make sure it reaches, remote parts of India? That's a great initiative, right? That's probably something we should be working with the government to do because it's about accessibility of education, making education free for all. So why aren't these private companies focusing more on how education is done, right? That's where they differentiate themselves. I mean, definitely, if they can sign up the government to extend the reach, that's a plus point too. I'm not really fighting for any side. If you guys haven't guessed by now, I'm just saying. So that was an expectation, but I didn't really see any startup out there that tried something different. So that's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, so I think that was a very healthy discussion by Hari, Lavanya, and Ankit. Uh, Now it is time for us to go proceed to round two. So, do we have all the participants here? Oves, Ananya, Siddharth, Meher, Shrijita, Steve. Please put a thumbs up in the chat box, all of you. So when I have 6 thumbs ups, I will start. Guys, participants, please respond. Shrijita, Ananya, Oves. Okay, I have two. Oves, are you ready? Siddharth. No response from Siddharth and Oves. Are you guys there?
Yeah, actually, I did keep a thumbs up.
Oh, sorry. I didn't notice. Okay. Siddharth is there. Steven. Steven, are you there? Okay, we have Steven. Are you ready?
Yeah, okay. So,
Okay.
right, like speaking right now.
No. I'm just making sure that everyone is ready first.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Grace is not here in the meet. Tanu,
Yeah.
just let's wait for 2 minutes, and
Yeah.
then
Let's
any
wait
one of
for
you
two.
can start. Yeah.
Okay. So in the meanwhile, I'll just tell you guys what round two is all about. So round two is basically the discussion round where one of you is going to start, and you people can cut each other in between. You can just put forth your points, whatever you have to say directly. Just put on your mic and shoot. Uh, so that's round two, and in round two we'll be considering. The audience votes also, so you guys have to be convincing enough, and the more convincing you guys are, the more points you will get. So no rules as such other than that. The basic rules still stand, that please be polite, please maintain the dignity of this platform, and that is it for round two. Okay. Is always here.
Also, we'll just go with the with the order in which people will raise the hand. So whenever you want to speak, you need to raise your hand. We'll call you, or just yeah, we'll call you, and then the discussion will go forward. This works for everyone.
Yeah.
So you guys can take whatever sides you want. Okay, there's no restriction on that. Just be convincing enough with whichever side you go for. Okay, everyone's okay with that, right?
Can
Tanu,
we?
I have a question.
Yeah. Meher was asking something.
I
Yes,
just want to
please.
ask you, will you give us time to speak, put our points forward, or we'll just start with the discussion straight away?
We just start, and whenever you feel like you have something to say, you will raise your hand. I will call out your name. I will give you a chance, and then you can speak.
Okay.
So try to participate as much as you can. Okay, we have an instruction from Hari. He says that everyone please write your sites in the chat box.
Let's start. Tanu, Ovesh will join in.
Okay,
No,
so
actually, sorry to interrupt, Tanu. Like, I think there is a point of what Hari has mentioned. If all six can mention, because if it becomes all six are for four, then it doesn't become a debate, right?
yeah, so I think uh, Shrijata hasn't mentioned
Okay,
the
we have
side.
one against,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, Shrijata, please mention which side are you on.
Srijita and Ovesh.
Yeah, Oasis is not in the meet. Uh, okay, we have two against. Shalini, can we go ahead without Oasis? What is the status of that?
Yeah, we can. He'll just join. He said he's coming. So you continue. Like, let the discussion continue.
Oh, okay. Oasis is here. Hi, Oasis. Could you please put down your side in the chat box. Which side are you? So,
I am on the agreement side.
yeah,
I
please
am
put it in
for.
the chat box.
Okay, thank
Chat
you, thank you.
box.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we can proceed, Tanu.
Okay, okay, so we can start, and so whoever has a point to make, just raise your hands and we'll start. Okay, Shrijita, go ahead.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. So when talking about college education, the first thing that comes to my mind is student loans. Is it useful to be in so much student debt when it comes to being in college? But we know uh, that vocational training can prepare you for a job or skill upgradation can prepare you for a job. So even though college education provides you with higher salaries, is it necessary when it comes to college education to be in so much stress and student loans uh, and have an education uh, that uh, uh, that can be gained from experience also?
Okay, next is Meher. Meher, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'll be speaking for the motion on the topic that how essential is college education. So, first of all, I would like to add that from college education, the first thing I relate with is life experiences. The second thing that I relate with is the time to find what my own interests are, where my interests lie. If you just push a child from 12th straight into a job in professional world, the child will not able to cope up because he does not have any kind of experiences, anything, any how to deal with success, how to deal with failure, he does not have. So college gives us the best time of our life. It gives us the memories, the experiences. It is basically a stepping stone, which is indeed very much required for a student like me or like you to raise up into the professional world. It gives us a professional binding, a feeling of uh, we learn how to behave, how to present things, how to uh, interact with people. We learn team management. We learn how other person is taking our points, how we have to speak, where we have to speak what. So it is like it is really necessary to learn everything, every basic thing which we require for a professional life. And for the point which Srijita just mentioned, there's a compared to the number of college students going every year, there is the number of college students getting a loan is really less, really low. So just for the sake of going to for getting the stress of a college loan, not going to college is like not kind of good practice. So yeah,
Okay,
that's the point I would like.
Steven is next. Guys, one request. I think the session would be much more interactive if we have the cameras on. So please put your cameras on. Steven.
Yeah, okay, so can I continue?
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of agree with Srijita that there's a lot of loan debt on students, especially in developed countries like America. But you also have to do a cost benefit analysis to know that in the long term, it's only going to pay you better. I mean, you are spending a lot of money now, and you will obviously recover your loans later on. Furthermore, adding to this point, I would like to say is this you actually pay for the sense of direction you get in college. There's a lot of degrees in which you could say you could make an argument that saying that okay, yeah, I have all the resources on YouTube or some other educational platform, and I can just go through that, and I'll have the same set of skills and knowledge that a college goer has. But that's actually wrong. You also have to look at the way all the resources are actually present on the internet. It's not organized at all. So you actually pay for that sense of direction first, and because that's very important, and it's not only limited to computer science, because computer science has a lot of practical skills, and you might learn it online. But if you look at all the degrees, I mean, suppose there's economics, there's finance and stuff like that, it's obviously important to have a college education. You need to have a more sophisticated knowledge on that subject. My third point would be the holistic development. Obviously, you can learn at home, you can learn skills at home, but that's very limited, and that's also limited to certain fields of studies like computer science or something else practical. But how are you getting the holistic development? There's no I mean there's a 100% guarantee that you'll come up on the stronger side with soft skills and much more educational development if you go for a college education. And you can also count on cultural and other skills as well. I mean, college actually provides you with a platform where you can express yourself properly, and that way, with like I said in my last debate, social interaction and learning. That's very essential for any college. I mean, for any student, probably college go or not, develop on their skills and interact with people, networking, and that's only going to build your, profile. Furthermore, another point I would like is you also have to take everything else in account. You have a lot of people who have a college degree, and you might say that you don't have a college degree, but you have the skills. And I can make an argument that that guy has a college degree, and that guy also has skills. And here you don't have the college degree. So when you apply for a job, obviously that guy is going to be preferred over you. Financial security and like high salaries is one of the biggest pros of college education when you compare it with like just learning skills from some place. And yeah, college also gives you a lot of platform to express your skills, so you can better work on your skills and develop them, and you can showcase them later on when if you are only working compared to the points where you are only working alone. Yeah, for now that would be.
Okay, I think we can go ahead with Ananya. Please continue, Ananya.
Yeah. So I heard the three speakers before me. I would like to actually first, start with a short quote. I would like to quote Albert Einstein. The quote reads: "The value of a college education is not the learning of many facts, but the training of the mind to think." Continuing with that quote as a basis here, as Stephen rightly said, it is a sense of direction that we get in college education. Shrijita mentioned that there are a lot of vocational courses and we can do self study and everything. But from what I understand is that college education gives you a guidance. It gives you guides who can guide you in those courses, in those vocational courses, in fact, in those self studies. You cannot guide yourself in it. There are points when you get stuck. Taking our own degree as an example, there are points when we get stuck. We need someone to guide us there too. So, uh, it is of essence that college education be received by most individuals. Another point in support for college education that I would like to mention here is that college education helps college graduates actually earn way more, and there are lower chances of their unemployment. If I am a master in some field at some level, any level, not high school level, but at college level. So if I've done my graduation in suppose finance, then I have higher chances of employment and I can earn more as compared to one who has just received a high school education or who has done a self study. They would not consider a self stamp certificate, right? They would consider a university stamped certificate while offering me a job. So those are the 2 points for now. Thank you.
Okay, I think Ananya will let Siddharth continue now.
Yes,
Siddharth,
actually,
please go.
I do agree with all the points that were spoken by my previous speakers, but there are a few things that even Einstein couldn't grasp his head around in the college education. He was like, he did not, he hated languages and he was forced to perceive languages in Germany, the state where he was born, and he left school for that very reason. College forces you to abide to a strict curriculum that you need not enjoy for the matter. And if you talk about employment opportunities, college education has nowadays become
a way only to get employability, not of gaining knowledge and not of innovation. All innovations, mostly that are done in the past 20 years, were done by college dropouts who felt that college was not good for them, like Google, Microsoft, and many more. Amazon is an exception in this case. Let's leave that. And if you can see, college dropouts have shaped the world in a much more sensical way than college uh, graduates can ever could, because they had the hands-on experience that they acquired through imagination. I can say that's it.
Shrijita, you can continue. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi everyone. So let us see the research and increase in unemployment. If you consider the number of
Guys,
people,
sorry to interrupt you, Shrijita, but I guess put on the videos, please.
one second. Just 1 second. Sorry, I just forgot what I was saying. So if you consider the number of people who are unemployed after even being college graduates, it's pretty high. If I put to Ananya's point, is that college graduation obviously gives you better salaries or higher salaries, but is only for certain courses. For example, if you are mastering finance or you're mastering technology. For me, I'm mastering physics, and I don't have too many employment opportunities when it comes to being a master's in physics. So, and also as my previous Siddharth said, that college sets you into a set of routine and a set of stuff. And also you should come to the point that college has most colleges has not updated their course. So when you go to college, you're basically studying the courses that are pretty old. So getting a in-hand job training in an industrial experience is way much more better than studying in a college, as per my feeling. That is a point that I wanted to put forward. Also, when it comes to people from marginalized communities, they don't have the sources or the income or the uh, to pay for colleges, which is pretty expensive. For example, when you go to MBA college, the cost is pretty from somewhere around, it is around 20 lakhs. Even from when you come to engineering colleges, the private colleges, not government colleges, the cost comes for somewhere around 10 to 15 lakhs. So that is something that needs to be considered. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, always please go ahead. Guys, please put on the camera so that it's more interactive.
Good morning, one and all. I would like to start by actually, differentiating between two, terms that we, regularly come across. That is education and knowledge. So I would like to actually begin my speech with the reason, because when we talk about knowledge, it is something that is, we gain over time when we talk to people, when we, learn new things. So that is, there is a thin line actually between both of them. What is education? When I talk about education, education is something a formal process, and education is a formal process, and when I talk about knowledge, it is an informal experience. As a kid, we always dream about going to the moon, being the best medical professional out there. But how do we realize all these things? We realize when we actually come to the college. So what happens is that when I'm talking about a formal education, so in college, it is a period when most of us are actually adults, and we get that sense of differentiating between good and bad, between differentiating between choices, between decisions, differentiating between things that are actually good for us in the long time, in the long run. And when we actually come to see, college is not all about rigid curriculum. It's all about getting a formal, good salary package. It's not all about getting good marks in a good GPA. It is something about the overall development of one's personality. It is about being a cut above. It is about being standing out in society and interacting with people, interacting with things. That is all college about. College actually gives you the idea, it gives you the weighing machine to actually weigh your strengths and weaknesses.
to actually give you direction of where you want where you want what you want to be in life, where you want to go. And I would like to conclude my speech by saying that education is not about life, it is life itself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, always. Stephen can continue now.
Uh, yes. Last in my last talk, I made a point about cost benefit analysis. I would like to continue with that. In a practical sense, if you look at all the pros of college education over, normal self-study, then it's actually massive. Internship opportunities, clubs and societies. You're not only learning what you are supposed to learn, they're supposed. If I'm interested in law, I learn a lot about other fields as well, like political science or economics or history along with it. So that's kind of like a complete package you're getting with a college education. Furthermore, adding on to, I mean, not adding on, I would like to talk about, like, Siddharth made a point saying Einstein, he had to learn languages and stuff, which he wasn't really interested in, and that's one of the main points he dropped out of the course. But since we are talking about college education is specialized. You are learning like a massive portion of what you learn at college. 80 to 90% is what you're actually interested in learning or what you decided to learn. The rest 10% is not something you can just bypass. It's actually essential, at least for the employability and professional in professional sense. I guess it is essential for you to go through that. And languages, suppose if you aren't learning a language course, suppose you are doing a social science course or technology course, how much of language are you actually learning? It's almost equal to what you should be knowing, and you are not going to build over that and do writing learn other writing skills that are not related to your job or not related to your profession. And furthermore, like, I think a college education as a whole gives you a lot of opportunities to learn a lot more than what you had expected to learn. And it's in every way over self-study. And you can always optimize self-study and college education. I guess that's a much better idea. Instead of just relying on one option, you could join a college and study something else side by side. And yeah, that would be my point right now.
Okay, Siddharth can go ahead. Siddharth, please continue.
Actually, one more point. Can this be an open discussion? Like, we are raising hands and we are not able to point out our points when the other person is speaking. So then
Yeah,
Uh,
same is
okay.
my.
actually drop.
Okay, we'll have an open discussion from now on. Whoever wants to speak can just open their mics and speak. But just be a little bit, courteous and uh, give the other person some chance to speak. Okay, so
Yeah.
I guess we can do that. We'll start with Siddharth, and everyone else can, like, whoever wants to speak, just put on your mic and you can speak.
Yeah. Going to college education first. College education nowadays is has become a necessity among the individuals in our country, because according to Indian parents, there is a preconceived notion for Indian parents either it is engineering, medical, or any other degree. There is no room for expansion mostly. This is mostly the case. I'm not including the 100% of people. But when you take a look at the global perspective, US is only 45.5% college degree educated, and it has $65,000 per capita income, which is like 30 times our size, approximately. So, doing the cost benefit analysis, can we say that college degree does not really play an important role as much as the government does?
Siddharth, I want to add one thing is that when you come to saying that it is the fault of the government. It's not exactly. We have, if you remember the CEO of Oyo Rooms, Ritesh Agarwal. So he is not a college graduate. He came up with this idea when he was 17, and he made a pretty successful business about it. So if you consider any other person like Mark Zuckerberg, no, Bill Gates, any other person who dropped out of college. So we can see that for innovation, for getting ahead in life, college education is not required for everyone. It might be for some people, but it is not a degree that is required for everyone.
Yeah, I agree and disagree with you at the same time. We have to also watch that Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard, one of the best universities in the world. Taking that into account, yes, I agree with your point, but it totally depends on the person.
Yeah, that is why I said it is a degree that it is not required by everyone. Also,
Yes.
for example, I just want to bring out something that the number of graduates in this country is from different vocational backgrounds for different backgrounds as such. For example, there are English graduates, there are history graduates, there are international relations graduates, there are physics graduates, there are chemistry graduates. But the number of people, if you go into a job search in any place, you'll see that the requirements for any job is either BCA, MCA, MTech, BTech. For even for BTech, they particularly mention EEE, IT, and computer science. So I don't think that every college graduate, every college course is actually a good thing.
Uh,
Yeah.
can
So
I
Can I speak?
can I
Okay,
go ahead?
Linda, you go ahead.
okay, I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wanted to ask you people, like you say that some college degrees have more importance when it comes to job search, but how is it about college education and self-study? I mean, that's because India isn't really ready to take up all the other social science or humanities graduate. We don't have that kind of jobs yet right now. But if you see in developed countries, you have a much higher chance. I mean, the chance of a social science graduate to get a proper job, and I'm not saying some small job or something like a nice job is like much higher. So I think
It,
it
it's
depends on.
not it's not also true, Stephen. When you go for other countries as well, it's the same situation. So if you're for example, you're a social science graduate. If you go on a job search in any country, the chances of getting a job is never higher. The chances of getting into your own business or doing your own business is much more higher. If you go and search and see people who are from other backgrounds, for example, if you consider mass media communication, there are a lot of people who have graduated in mass media communication from other countries in our college graduates. They're mostly doing having their own media communication channels to Instagram reels or having their own pages and accounts, and they created their own uh, cells and created their own presence online.
Okay, so I'm actually learning social science, so I can speak for my domain. I mean, I have a kind of, I mean, a small amount of knowledge on that. So what I'm asking is, suppose, I mean, it completely depends on what degree you are taking. That's for sure. But suppose you have a college education in, suppose, mass media communication, like degrees like these, which do not really get jobs. I mean, yeah. So if you have a college education on that, and if you are on out your own and you're doing self-study on that, who has an higher chance of getting a job? We're not saying key college education is perfect. Here we have two options, and we have to choose which is better. It's not one being perfect and other.
I just want to add
Can we
one more
speak,
point.
Steven?
Speak?
Other people are also in the line, I guess.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
waiting.
just can I just add one
Yeah,
point? Yeah,
both of
just
us
I
have
just
been
said.
waiting kind of long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just one thing. I'll just stop, okay? I just went into LinkedIn and saw this person from a very non-renowned college who got a job offer at Adobe with a 41 lakhs package. So how she got into that job was through a online competition. So when it comes to online competitions at different coding competitions, doesn't just your self study suffice, or do you think that college graduation or college degree is important in that?
I think what you must have missed out in that must be the requirements to get into that competition. Before
Okay.
getting into any coding competition, being an CA student myself, we have to fill all our details, giving the fact that we are graduating or we have done it. So that is the prerequisite. And addressing the points which were given by Jita and Siddharth about most of the companies being opened by college dropouts, I would like to disagree with both of you. And the percentage of people opening companies who are college dropouts and the percentage of people who are opening companies who are not college dropouts has a very huge difference. You can just look it up. All our Indian businessmen, Indian conglomerates, tech giants, everybody, most of them have taken college degrees. And except for Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs, maybe, even Google founders have college degrees. And so it's not like if you're a college dropout, then you're gonna make it big. And if you're not a college dropout, yeah, if you're taking a degree, it's just a waste of time.
Can
So,
I?
Ananya, you can continue.
Thanks. Okay, Meher mentioned a very good point. I was actually waiting to mention that, but I have a different view on that. Shrujita and Siddharth both mentioned that they are college dropouts who have made it very big. Again, they're college dropouts, so they have attended college for some time, right? As always mentioned that college helps in an overall development of a person. So here we are, back to the point that I'm trying to make since long. College helps to develop the personality of a person, of a learner. It does not only College education does not only refer to a stream. It does not only refer to computer science. It does not only refer to learning finance. It means learning yourself, learning your personality. To further add to that, I would say that what I learned in college was becoming responsible and taking up more duties. I got an exposure to the outside world that the exposure that I never experienced in my high school days, probably. Uh, Another point that I would add here is that I developed a lot of new skills. I did not even know that I had them before I joined college. So, one of those skills I can give as an example is public speaking. Here I am today speaking in front of you. I still don't know how I'm speaking today, but at least I'm trying to speak, right? That is something I found out about myself during my college days. So there are a lot of other things. It opens up doors to a million opportunities. They went to college. You mentioned Mark Zuckerberg. He went to college. He found out how it functions. He learned something outside of his education, his dream. I would say rather, he learned a lot more, and then he went home with that learning. He opened up a company and then made it big. It is not just that, he went to college, he got disappointed and dropped out and then made it big. He did not get disappointed, he learned. So that's my speech, guys. That's my point.
I would like to add to Ananya's points that it is really very necessary to go to college to learn all these skills about oneself, because you can't just step into the world and start doing a job. You have to understand what your passion is, what you want to do in the world, where you want to make a difference. And that college gives you that time to invest on yourself, to find what you want to do. So it's just like if you're just going from 12th and straight into a job and you don't like the job, then you're again changing jobs. So you can't do that. You have to understand what you want. You have to learn what you want. You have to find your passion. So college gives you the time to discover things, discover different things, discover your interests. So I believe that it is really necessary.
Another point that just a little point on this, if you can let me.
Yeah.
I just forgot to mention. Siddharth said that he mentioned a point about Indian parents and students having a preconceived notion that that's the whole plan that is laid out. The child has to grow up and go to certain college and everything. those notions are changing, Siddharth. The notion now is that the child has to go to college to learn outside of college. So that's the basic notion that we are now developing. So that's the only point I forgot. Thank you.
I would like to add some points. So basically, when we talk about, I would like to start my speech by saying, like, pointing to all of the major points that have been raised here. So when we say that some of the biggest entrepreneurs in this world, they have dropped out of college, so that is kind of an outlier here. When we are saying that college is important, we are talking about the masses. We are talking about millions of students, because not all of them can go and create something like Facebook. Not all of them can go and build something like Facebook. Not all of them can go and become Ritesh Agarwal and Mark Zuckerberg. These guys are outliers. They did it because they believed in their idea at a very young age. Mark Zuckerberg educated himself. He knew how to code when he was at the age of 6. I believe that not all of us did not even know what coding is at the age of 6. And when we talk about creating new ideas, when we talk about creating new business ideas, so there is something known as a startup incubator or accelerator, which does the same thing. Ritesh Agarwal, when he got the chance to actually raise funds for his raise capital, raise the seed capital for his business, he did not get it simply. He got it because he had the education to do it. He got it because he had the necessary skills. So what I'm trying to say is that when we talk about college education, it is required. It is required for overall development of one's personality, overall development of how people actually stand out in society. You get it? Because if we wouldn't have got to college, if many people, if our parents, if many other people who wouldn't have gone to college, then our society would not have advanced to such an extent. We have some of the greatest technological advancements in the field of science. These people, they made breakthrough research. They made marvelous discoveries and all. They did it because they believed in their education. Actually, in the first when we talk about education and we talk about college education not being able to get us a high salary package and not being able to give us crores of rupees per annum salary package, what I'm trying to explain is that education is not only about getting a good salary package, not about getting good grades, not about getting a good GPA. Okay, fine, it is there, but education is something much more than that. These are just subsets of what we call subsets of what we actually get from a college or a university. So that's all I have to say.
Just always, I just want to add one thing. Is that when you tell about, when you're talking about education, is it necessary that you need to be in a college to gain that education, or can that education be gained from any person or any society or community of people that you're interested in? For example, if you talk about Steve Jobs, he had very close interactions with a person from HCL when he was very young. So that is how he gained his knowledge regarding whatever he was interested in. So I think education comes from the interaction of people or the community of people that you meet or gain experience with. So it is not necessary always that you need to go to college to gain that experience.
Okay, so I would like to answer this question. See, as I mentioned before, okay, we can give examples of 100 more people like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. Fine, but these are all outliers. Okay, when we talk about education, when we say that education cannot, like many these guys did not need a formal education to build such great businesses. So I would like to point out that these peoples they believed in their idea from such a young age. They had their idea. Many people, when I talk about millions of people out there who actually do not have the resources, first of all, okay, they don't know how these things work. They, because of some constraints and conditions imposed on them, they don't know these things. They don't know, haven't seen yet much of the world. And when they come to college and they get a formal college education, they actually realize that education is something much more bigger. It's something much more bigger than what they have perceived or thought all these years. And this is what I'm trying to actually point out. When you are saying, I'll give you an example. When we talk about our the we will talk about many other businesses, when we talk about many other rapid advancements in science, all this happened because all of these scientists, all of these physicists, biologists, the scientists, they had a formal education. They got to know of these things because they had a formal education.
You
I
cannot sit at home and educate yourself about
yeah, I understand what your point is, but yeah, to find your passion, I don't think the college is a necessary thing. For example, when we talk about Einstein, we get to know that he was doing a clerical job when he knew that his interest was in physics. He was so to go to college to find his passion. He didn't need to go to college to find his passion. He found his passion within himself by doing something else.
look.
Uh,
When I talk
uh,
about
Okay.
Stephen, sorry for the interruption. I'll conclude this one, then you can speak. So when you
yeah,
talk
sure.
about, you took the example of Albert Einstein, and see, okay, fine, we can find numerous such examples. But when I talk generally, when I talk about, see, not all of the rapid advancement in science, like not all scientists actually belong to the category of Albert Einstein. We have had many different people who have actually got a proper formal education, and they went on to do great things in life. This happened because, see, not all of us are made, we are actually all created in a different manner. Okay, not all of us belong to the same category of mindset or personality. It depends on people to people. It depends, like different people are kind of people have different mindset. Okay, fine, Albert Einstein or some of the few personalities that you guys have mentioned kind of got the idea. Okay, fine, this is something that I can create, this is something that I can build at a very young age. But not all of us can do that. As a matter of fact, if you see the statistics, if you see the data, that many of us, many of the people, normal people, they got to this idea, they got this, they realized that something, okay, fine, there's some void, there's something that can be created. They got this because they got in college. This college education, education they got in the universities actually gave them the platform to actually build upon those ideas. And that's how we have seen, like that's the reason we have such, we have come ahead. So, like, I think you got my point.
Srijata, I have a
yes.
question to you.
Adding to the point that Waste just said, a college education just helps you in, realizing what is the need of the hour. Just a sec, just a sec. Can someone else continue? Stephen, I think you.
I
Yeah, so what I wanted to say is like how always said, not everybody is the same as Einstein, or these are outliers, obviously. And if you look at the common, like if you look at the common man, it's much better for him to have a college education than to do self-study. And looking at the society as a whole, just imagine if people stop going to college just because they preferred self-study, then what kind of drastic effect it would have on academic publications and academic research. We might come to a dead stop, and our like technology wise or any wise, I mean in any domain, we won't be really able to grow that much. And on a society level, that is it. And one more point I would like to add is like you compare a college graduate with a normal guy who self studies, and when you look at all the life and professional decisions you have to make within your own subject or domain, who do you think will do better? And also, like people mentioned Mark Zuckerberg, but I guess all of us have watched Social Network to some extent, and we can't say that it's like completely how things happen. But just imagine what Mark Zuckerberg would be able to make Facebook if he didn't go to Harvard, if he didn't attend that semester at Harvard. Will he be able to network with all the people? His friend was an economist. He had like two twin brothers who helped him. That, like they pitched the idea. If he never went to college, just imagine how late Facebook might have come. It would have taken 10 more years in making. So what I wanted to say is you can do things both the way. But if you look at the common man perspective, you are much better off if you have a college education. The interaction which you get and all the opportunities you have, like internships or working on projects, is only going to build your profile, and you will have much more intensive and practical knowledge on your subject, which you can like take along and reach other heights. I mean higher heights in the society. Yeah, for now, that's it.
Just to add to Stephen's points, college education, college degree now, concerning now focusing my points to more of a college degree. A college degree provides you a lot more job security and job satisfaction uh, than a high school graduate. So if I'm a high school graduate, I do not know, I might be tanked tomorrow from my job. But if I'm not a, if I have a college degree, there is a higher chance that the company will consider keeping me over the person who has just graduated high school and has, gotten into the company with some self study, or learning some codes in class 6. um, so the thing is that, the point I'm trying to make here is that a college degree and college education, I am stating these two things separately. A college degree focuses more on the stream that you're attending in your college. uh, and at the same time, college helps you focus on one stream, so I would also mention that here. And college education is something which helps you focus on the overall development of your personality, interacting with your environment, interacting with the outside world, meeting people, making a social circle. All those points come under college education. So, when both these points are stated, I would like to just conclude my points here for the day, that both of these go hand in hand. Yes, college degree is important, but college education is of the essence here. And Mark Zuckerberg's, Steve Jobs, whatever examples you have listed right now, all of them have a college education. They do not have a degree, they have a college education here. And uh, that is what helps them understand the need of the hour. It is not high school which helps them, it is the college education that helped them understand the need of the hour. We were all spoon fed in high school, if I can use that word here. So that is my only point here. Thank you.
Yeah, adding on
Shamina,
to,
do we have time, or should we discuss, or should we conclude?
I mean, can I go for one last point?
One
I'm
last
just
round, and
asking,
then
ma'am.
we'll all. Then I'll request you all to conclude. It's already
Okay, sure.
one, so.
Sure.
Yeah, so adding on to Ananya's points and whatever I've spoken before, just imagine, I mean, if you think that you can do a lot with self-study, and maybe you can do, but you are like one in maybe a thousands, and you can't, like represent the complete sample space. The statistical inference you are going to get from that is it would be ridiculous because you are speaking for yourself and not everybody who is doing self-study. Furthermore, it's more practical for you to have a college education. Just imagine if you have all the skills and a college goer also has the same amount of skills. So employability wise, yeah, the college goer will be given the preference anytime because you have the same skill level. You might have learned it like by yourself, and that guy might have must have learned it in college. But he has a lot more extra. I mean, under his belt when you compare like overall wise. So yeah,
I would like to go next. So I would just like to place a very light point outside of all these heavy points, and adding to what I've already said. I would just like to say that we all study throughout our college, and like we develop ourselves to get into the professional rat race. And so, don't you think that for a moment that we should have some time for ourselves, some time to discover ourselves, some time to uh, enjoy in our life, some time to take out for what we are building. We're just like going to work for our future, going to study for our future, going to college for our future, slogging for our future. So, don't you think that we should get some time to enjoy the present for what we are working for? That's kind of a very big question which often crosses everybody's minds, that we have come this far, we've slogged so hard for IIT, we've got into IIT, now we have to slog for MBA, we've got into IIM, now we have to slog for life. So why don't you think that we should get some time to enjoy our lives, enjoy for what we are working? That's kind of a very big emotional question. And adding to Stephen's points, I completely agree. And I would like to conclude my points here that yes, college degree is indeed very important. We get skills, we get life skills, it prepares us for life. And except for one, two, three outliers which we have, which the world has seen, like Albert Einstein and Mark Zuckerberg. There are a lot million people who have college degrees and have built a successful life. Maybe not because we are measuring success here by tech giants or by the money. I assume that's why I don't believe that their success should be measured by that. If a person is happy, content in life, then I believe he or she is successful. And a college degree gives a person a security to reach a stage in life and be happy and be content. So I believe they are all successful. And as for the outliers, we always have exceptions. So yeah, that's my point, that college degree is indeed very necessary. Thank you.
Okay, going
Hi.
next, I would like to uh, firstly, Ananya, I agree with your point that college education is important, but do you think college degree is important? That's a different question for a different day. But we are studying in this course, and how many of you would consider it college education, and that we are getting necessary um, connections that we are able to forego the physical offline feel of this online degree. So, and one more point that I would like to make is, how many of you are agreeing that college is a way to earn more and above all to gain more knowledge other than just going out? There is an employability issue and you are at a safer side.
Hi.
I would agree with your first point, Siddharth, that this degree which we are getting is in giving us a college education.
I just wanted to bring 2 points up. When it comes to emotional happiness and finding yourself, everyone has heard about the thing that happens in most USA before people going to college. It's like backpacking around Europe. So they go around backpacking around Europe to find themselves. So that is when that they have slogged so much. They need an year to think about what they have done in life and where they want to go. College is not the place. I don't think you need a college degree to find yourself. Or college is not the obviously it's a place to interact with more people. But when it and another thing that comes to my mind when we call about college degrees, particularly in India. For example, when you go to campus placements, after you're placed, you have to go through rigorous training for a month or so. And people who do well in those trainings are selected. So why do we need these trainings if college is giving us the enough industrial skills or enough upgradation in skills when it comes to college education? Yeah.
Okay, I would like to conclude now. College education is important to success, but it is not necessary to success.
Yeah, I have the same point that college education is important, but it's not necessary.
I would like to make a concluding speech, and then you guys can continue. So, Albert Einstein once rightly said that the purpose of college education is not just a like it is a sorry. The purpose of college education is not the learning of many facts, but the training of the mind to think. And if I emphasize or if I stress upon these points, so it is quite clear that when we talk about education as a whole, we are not only stressing upon like what we have got so far. Like we often talk about if you have got any when we talk about any sort of investment in general, we talk about the return of investment. So the same thing happens with education or say college education. When we say like we have got admission in so XYZ university, such a reputed university, we generally expect some kind of monetary return or investment on that. And that is the general perception or mentality of a lot of people around here. So what I'm trying to explain is that okay, fine, that is subset of what we have actually we have to get, but that is not everything. That is not all that you have to get. Education in general or college education is something much more bigger than that. And I would like to conclude my speech by saying that see, when we are saying about college education having such a rigid curriculum,
we are saying that it is kind of outdated. Because an institution or because a system is kind of outdated or it is not yet efficient, it does not mean that you can completely replace it. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's one thing I just want to say. I don't know how many of the people read. Surely you're joking, Mr. Fine Man. But when it comes to when you say that Einstein said that college education is the training of the mind to think, training of the mind to think begins when you're at your earliest of stages. If you ever read the book, you'll understand that when he was a very young person, his father trained him to think by putting different puzzles in front of him. That is how you learn thinking. That is how you develop thinking. If you even consider Einstein, he had a speech disability. He started being interested in math when he was 11 years old, and the person who came to his house and taught him how interesting algebra can be. Training of the mind to think begins at a very early age. It doesn't have to start in college. It's too late to start the training of the mind to think in college.
I would like to stress upon this point and say that okay, agree with you on this point. Okay, fine. Training of the mind starts at a very young age, but it matures or it starts gaining much more. The graph shoots up or it gets steeper when you actually become an adult, when you actually get some sense of maturity in you, and that happens when you get into college. I will give you one such example to prove my point. So what happens is that see the when like I'm talking about the masses here, I'm talking about the majority of students here. I'm not talking about some exceptions. So I'm saying that we have seen in the past decade or in the past 2-3 decades we have seen a lot of new innovations, a lot of new companies, big business ideas coming up here and there across India. And this all happened because the government actually, this is the official policy of the government of India, that what they thought that actually you should start investing in the ideas of those students in the college, those students in some of the big colleges like IITs and IIMs, that is feasible, that can actually be worked upon, that can actually get so that can actually contribute something to the economy. And that is the reason why we have so many startups, we have so many innovations and companies getting incubated in all these institutes such as IITs and IIMs. And that's the reason, because these people, these students like us, they are just normal students like us, but they have an idea which they think can actually bring some difference to the lives of many people. And why this happened, like when we say that it is a thinking of the mind, so why did this happen? This happened because it actually got some support, it got that boost that was required all these years, that was not given to that particular individual. And that boost was given when that particular individual got into college. So that's my point.
I just want to conclude with one point.
Srijita,
Yeah, so
I think we've exceeded the time. It was a really awesome discussion. You guys had very discussion, very heated and intense debate. It was lovely to have all of you guys speak on this platform today. I think now it's time for us to get the results. I would like to call Ankit. Ankit, please give us. You could. Is Ankit there in the?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Ankit, you could say a few words about how the program was and then declare the results.
It was a really, really great, really great program. I could imagine my college days and school days, like in high school and college, where we used to do all this. So really good to be back in that sense, and a bit nostalgic as well. Really great debate, guys. Lot of points coming in, like financial, social, economical, lot of variety of point of views. Really great to see them. uh, yeah, and great rebuttals as well, like I could see people are actually seeing through, like picking up the loopholes in the opponent's point. And yeah, great debate, guys, great debate. I would actually clap. I know there is a clap option, right? Not here, or oh, sorry, that is in Teams. So please give a round of applause to all the participants for doing this on a Sunday, especially on a Sunday. So if you could just give me a couple of minutes, and maybe we could do something where like just for fun until we compile the results. Let's change the for and against and see what happens.
Okay, before that, I think, Hari, do you have something to say? Hari?
I guess
Yeah.
he has some connection issues. You can just move on. Let's
My
discuss
bad.
and move on.
Please go ahead.
Okay.
JFK. Yes, I know.
Okay, so guys, interchange the for and against teams, and we can try to have a small little discussion until the results are out. You guys can take over.
Actually, had one doubt on the question itself. Was it college degree or college education?
It was college education, I think.
No, as in, college education is normally meant to be the college degree or, yeah, a college experience for that matter. I was asking Ankit sir this question.
Okay, so it is actually depends on your point of view how you take it. So that is another you see another thing where, like, what you think or what you interpret it from your end, and how you give your opinions on it. So it can be anything which you want.
Okay.
Can I start with speaking against the topic, in an informal discussion here?
Yeah, Ananya, go ahead.
Yeah, so one very small point I think I can mention here, because most of them have been mentioned by Siddharth and Shrujita probably, is that skipping college speeds up a lot of process. So you can get into the job field or the business field right away. A lot of Indian business families have this thing going where their children just go and join the business directly after high school. So that's a very good point that can be considered for against the topic. So yeah.
Ananya, I just had one point before it ended to say against the topic was that it's unfair for marginalized people when it comes to college degree because the fees is so high.
That is true, but again, that can be rebutted. So I didn't want to say that. I
Yeah,
had
actually, coming to Ananya, your point,
that
it's
point.
actually an exception. It's sort of an outlier point because only a few families in India mostly have a business that can be run by all their children.
I'm not talking about business, I'm talking about the marginalized people in
Okay,
India.
guys, sorry to interrupt you, Srijata, but we have a link in the chat box where everyone can vote for the audience votes. Okay, Srijata, you can continue.
Yeah, no problem, people. That's it.
You were going to say something, right, Srijata? You can continue now.
Yeah, I actually forgot. Sorry, I just forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, so if anyone else has anything to say, you guys can go ahead.
Yeah, I heard Srijita's point actually, and I was just about to tell her that that's a point I won't say because it can be rebutted very easily. So yeah.
This is very general. I mean, it almost has nothing to do with self study or college education. But what do you guys think about like how much of what we learn in college or by self study, like theoretical knowledge, do we actually apply in jobs? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
It actually depends on your field of study. Like, if I'm going into economics or something else, I might apply a bit more than what I'm applying in engineering. It's totally on your interest and totally on the field that you choose to work in.
Yeah, kind of agree on that, but still, I mean, the percentage, I mean, the percentage of the total stuff we learn in college, or even by self study. I mean, you can see there's a gradual decrease in all the amount. I mean, the percentage you apply. So that way, I guess, I mean, I have nothing really to add on it for now. I mean, I just wanted to make a point where not everything you study in college is getting applied in your jobs, and it's probably across all the fields, most of the fields.
Yeah, actually, if we take the example of our IITM online BSc data science and programming degree itself, we in a few cases data scientists just analyze the data, and there is a little bit of programming involved, but not a lot. So in such cases, your data science, your statistics shows up in a much more prominent position. So here, I guess we can part ways in saying that your whole college degree education is really helpful in your job.
I think that marks the end of the debate, Shalini. I think everybody's exhausted their points.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ankit sir, can you declare the result? Then we'll end it.
Yeah, sure. So, guys, a really close call between the first and second. Um, so, should I declare it?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, the winner is Srijita. Congratulations, Srijita, on it. Uh, Great rebuttals, as well as like it was a two versus four kind of situation. So yeah, uh, congratulations on it. And guys, really it was a close call. Just a point here and there made the cut. So yeah, and it was basically based on the six parameters that were posted in earlier or shared earlier in the doc. So congratulations.
Uh,
And thanks a lot.
okay.
And thanks a lot to all the participants and organizers for making me a part of it. Really enjoyed being here.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining in. Thank you so much for taking out time for us. Shrujita, do you want to say something?
No, thank you so much. This is my first ever debate competition, so I thank you so much.
That's great. That's great. Tanu, over to you.
So yeah, congratulations, Srijata, and the other participants. You guys did well too. It was just a very close call. So congratulations to you guys too for maintaining the competition and having a very healthy debate. With this, we come to the end of our entire fest, Invictus, and today is going to be the closing ceremony at 4 o'clock. We would like to thank all the participants of the debate, and not only the debate. All the people who've participated over this 1 week period. Thanks a lot. Uh, Thanks, Ankit, for judging our event, and of course, thanking the audience too for being a very active audience, and special thanks to Statlytics for sponsoring our fest. Statlytics, for those of you who don't know, is a data science consulting firm that helps businesses adopt machine learning solutions and reach business goals. Thanks a lot, Team Statlytics, for supporting us. And once again, I thank all of you to be a part of this event. Congratulations to all the people who won events throughout the week, and we hope you enjoyed the fest and today's debate and had a lovely time. Yes, thank you, Adavi, also for being the co-host. And now I hand over to Hari. He'll
No,
continue.
no, please. I think Adavi has something to say. Yeah.
Yeah, Adavi has something to say.
Yeah, thank you guys actually for giving me this opportunity. It was a very different experience for me because generally the debates happen in various structures, and this one was quite different. And I thoroughly enjoyed, because people were talking out of their heart. It was not just sticking to the script or sticking to a topic and not going here and there. So this was more of a very liberal kind of a mode. I really enjoyed the entire session. And thanks to every one of you, especially Tanu, who has been carrying it so gracefully, and Shalini, who's been doing so many things at back end, and Hari, of course, who has actually put this all together. So thanks everyone for participating. Every one of you had great points to give, and I'm looking forward to having more such events and much more participations from you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for being here, guys. I guess this is the last event of Invictus. So thank you for being here. The weekends. So thank you so much. I guess we can
Yeah,
end the call
guys.
now. Yes, Tanu.
We have the closing ceremony
Ceremony
at
at
4
4
o'clock,
p.m.
so do tune in for that. We'll be announcing all the winners' names of all the competitions, so you guys can come. Yeah,
Thank you so
that's it.
much,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tanu. Thank you, Hari. Thank you, all the
Thank you, Shalini,
participants, for the audience.
for also
Thank
finding
you.
hosts and helping me out with this. So thank you so
Yes,
much. Yeah.
she has a very major role.
Yeah.
Okay, not continuing to this.
Mhm.
Let's get over with this. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone.
Please
Bye
end the meet.
bye.
Thank you so much. Bye
And
bye.
congratulations, Shujita, once again. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sujata.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Good night.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Good night,
Ankit.
everyone
Sujata.
have a happy